What's going on YouTube? Got another video for you here today, and I wanted to just kind of dive into my findings of the Morgue and Necropolis League and the crafting and all that. And I just want to say that I think it's going to be insane. I think people are going to be creating insane items. You'll be able to duplicate crafts, if you can get them from your buddies or whatever after they've made them, and you'll be able to get items that are almost maybe even, obviously rolls might be different, but the actual tiers of the items might be able to be locked in. So as we test more and more, we'll see. But I think that this is going to be crazy. It felt a little blah at first getting into it, but now that I'm starting to learn a little more, I think it's going to be crazy, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to start crafting some crazy items. So what I'm going to do is, to begin, obviously, I have a huge plot going here. We're going to fill this up on stream today and try to just literally make a crazy, insane bow. As you can see, it's going to be elemental bow, attack. We want to remove life. We add speed, elemental tier. And as you look at these, and you're kind of like, what do these mean, right? What do these numbers mean? You have, flat numbers, and you have percent-based numbers, and you have, all these different things, right? Elemental, speed, attack. So if that's kind of out of your wheelhouse a little bit and you're like, I don't understand what this means, Grimro released a video 2 days ago. Dude's a legend. He's got spreadsheets and everything for you can look at with the numbers and breaking it down. And he basically explains what those numbers mean and how they're going to influence the craft you're trying to do, right? And obviously, we're only a couple days into the league, so we're still figuring some things out and all that. But this video is immensely helpful. I'll put the link in the description for if you just are having a hard time understanding what these mods actually mean and what they're going to do to your item, right? So, and again, I'm not going to get too deep into this, but let's see, where is my Craft of Exile? So this right here, this is just a quick glaze over. Again, please go watch Grimro's video. Go support him. He's fantastic. He'll teach you anything you need to know. He's a legend. So go check him out. But basically, all those numbers just represent the weight of a mod itself, right? Better mods have much lower weights, so they're harder to roll. So basically, what you're able to do is try to force those really low rate weighted items to roll onto your item, and then remove the things that you don't want. So that's it at its most basic level. And those numbers, the flat numbers and the percent, just like they would affect that the physical damage on an item, it works similarly to that, right? You have flat numbers, percent numbers, and they will help you roll the things you want to roll. Grimro's video is about 20 minutes long. If you're struggling on this, it is worth the watch. I mean, I understand all these things, and his video is still immensely helpful. So go check that out. I'll put the link in the description. Like, subscribe, do all the whole shebang, and we'll go from there. But I want to get more into the actual plot itself and some of the corpses that you can use to enhance what you're going to get. So again, right now I'm currently working on a elemental bow. So we have a lot of things in there. Like, we obviously don't want life mods, and you're like, well, it's a bow, but you can get life leech, things like that, right? So this will help remove mods like that. We want to focus on the prefixes, because I would rather get big flat damages, and we have some crit and some speed in there, but we ideally we really lock in those prefixes. Then we can multi-mod, or we can prefixes cannot be changed, and slam it with a veil. And again, some of this stuff might seem a little over your head, other things won't. It depends on how much into crafting you are, right? But this is a very simplified way of learning how to craft high tier items, right? So if you can figure this out, you will then be able to move on to meta crafting things, whether you're using harvest or veiled orbs, or different sorts of things, right? So this is going to be helpful, I think, in teaching people how to end game craft outside of the Morgue as well, because you're going to start learning some of these key terms that you need to look for when you're crafting. Okay, so just keep that in mind. But I just want to do a quick little recap. So basically, every single corpse that is tied to another corpse will craft together. So hypothetically, you can fill up every single slot in this and craft one item. And that's what we're going to do today on stream. So If you have interest in seeing that, come check out the stream. I'll be on all day, and we're gonna fill this thing up. We're getting close. And as you can see, there's a ton of different stuff. Critical, there's lightning, fire, because we want a cold, we want a full elemental bow. Okay, over here you can have +1 to item level because we want to try to get it above 86. Maybe we get lucky and hit +2 additional arrows, all that kind of stuff, right? So now, with that being said, if you're still early on and you're not into endgame crafting, you should be using this, right? Like, this kind of works similar to the way that you could, early game use essences and things like that. The only difference is you can create the base itself out of thin air, right? With an essence, you kill the monster, you get the essence. Oh, you found a 4-link. Oh, cool, I found an essence of hatred, so I can slam cold onto this. Boom, okay. So now we have the thing. This, now you can create a base out of thin air and just apply the mods that you want, right? So you should be using this early to grab yourself some early game items and just maybe filling up, 5-6 slots or whatever. You drop the corpses a lot, so start using them. You don't want to use the low level corpses once you get into high end game anyways, so use those corpses, make yourself a few early game items, and then little by little just start filling the plot more and more and more, right? So as you can see, all of these blue little guys here, they are all tied together. So these are all going to craft one item. Okay. And it's going to be hopefully hopefully it's going to be cool, man. I don't know, we're going to see. This is the first one. They just released a bunch of updates, and all of these had already been put in the plot, so we're going to send. Maybe some things have changed, but they did release a new update. Grimro also made a video on that. You can go either watch the video or view the patch notes, but they did a lot of really cool things. You can now select the actual base type, etc., etc. So I think it's going to be even better now. There's no more tiers, like we had. There's 500 and 200% and all those sorts of things. Now there's not. So I think it's going to even be a little bit easier now. I was excited kind of at how intricate it was. It seems like maybe they're kind of toning it down a little bit, which is fine. It's all good. But this is gonna be pretty insane. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I was a little meh at the start of the league, but I'm actually really excited to wake up and start jamming again. So that's that. Again, everything that's tied together will all be crafted as one item. You can just keep filling them in. You click on the thing and you can put in, whatever it is that you want, lightning. We're going to, some of these I need to kind of, with my last few slots, I need to really kind of lock in what I want there. But you've got a ton of different things. You've got the ones for the uniques and all these, and you need to have multiple people from the same family and adjacent to the corpse crowd, blah blah blah. So you guys can go through, and I'm sure you've seen some of these. They're pretty cool. But I just want to kind of show you the two nodes that I have found or corpses that I have found to be insanely powerful, and how to use them, best place to put them, etc., etc. And that's these two right here. 25% increased effect of corpses in a row. Excuse me. Sorry. So row would be left to right, and then column, which would be up down. And now you'll have to and again, I have a couple mistakes in here that I left purposely so that you can see what I mean and how to fix it, right? So let's take a look at one of the rows that is taking effect. Okay, so here, everything in a grave row, right? 25%. So everything in this row right here gets 25% increase, right? The critical modifier is 100. The base corpse is 100 to critical modifier tier. We have 125 here. Same thing here. The base modifier on this is 100% increased chance of attack modifiers. We have 125. Why? Because of this increased effect of corpses in your grave row. This is a 500 increased percent chance of fire modifiers, which turns to a 625% with one of these, right? I don't know if they stack yet. Maybe you guys can let me know. I don't know if you can put more than one in a row and have them work. You can put a row and a column and then have, like, for instance, I didn't do it here because, again, I was still putting these in while I was learning. But the ideal scenario right here would be to put the row right here and then put the column right here and then put a monster one, a 500% or whatever here, and it would gain 50% increased. So you would be up to a 750% increased modifier on a 500%, right? So that would double up, that would be take your best ones, percent based, the highest numbers, and put them so they are affected by the row and the column increased effect modifier. Okay? So, and again, I've made a few mistakes on this. I wanted to leave them in place so that I could kind of show you, but that would be the best case scenario for something like that. Put your big number right here, put the row here, put the column here, or vice versa, and then get the get plus 25% from both the row and the column, right? So now what I want to show you here is I put this row right here, right? Assuming that it would hit everything in this row right here. But that is not the case. If there is a break in the row, as you can see, there's a statue here. These on the corpses on the other side of the break will not be affected by this 25% increased effect of corpses, right? So it only counts for lines that are unbroken. As you can see, this breaks right here, right? So these on the other side of the break are not affected by our row that is here, right? So these all have it, and then these will be affected by the increased effect, but the ones on the other side of this break here, and you can see the gap in the corpses as well, there's no plot here, these will not be affected, right? So some of these are longer than others, right? Like this row right here, the bottom is longer than just these two right here. So this right here was a bad place to put a row. We could put a column right here because it'll go up, but this was a bad place for me to choose a row because only one plot is going to be affected by this increased effect, and it's this one right here. So this was a mistake, and this was a bit of a waste. You can go buy these, whatever. They're starting to go up in price because I think people are starting to realize how powerful they are. So save these for your important crafts because it's going to add a massive, massive boost, right? And with that being said, the longest row or column is this one right here, right? Because this one is unbroken all the way up to the top, right? So this particular row, there might be some that are equivalent because even we'll go to the other side and you'll see the other side is not the same. But this right here, this column is your longest unbroken clops or corpse plot. Sorry, clops. We'll just combine it into one word. Corpse plot, right? This one here, this one's broken, right? So you only have whatever that is, 6, right? 6 in a row. The one right next to it is unbroken, so you can juice all of these up. As you can see, we've got a 250, we've got a 625, a 62 because that's a 50, right? As you can see here, this is another one. You don't want to put your increased item levels in your rows that are increased by effect because 25% is not enough to increase this. So this is going to be, this particular one is one that you're going to want to put in an area. Again, another mistake that I made. I kind of grouped them all up down here in the corner, but ideally we probably put those in the little duo spots, right? Like maybe right here would be good. Put them in these 3 or over here, something like that, so that they're not wasting your increased effect, right? But as you can see, we come over here, and this right here, the second one in was the longest one on the other side, right? But you run up this, and you have another break in your corpses. So again, this is not as long. You don't get as many affected by one increased effect on any of the other spots, at least that I can tell so far. Like, obviously, maybe some people have figured some things out. But again, this column right here is your longest unbroken column. It goes all the way from the top to the bottom. So use this as a way to put some of your more powerful, higher rolled corpses in that column, right? And then that will help you use that increased effect and take the most advantage of it. And then again, here, like if we were to put, a row right here, it would only take advantage of 3 more rows. So you want to be careful about where you put those and what you're doing with them, right? Here, up here, if you were to put a row right here, you would only get to put 2 in, etc., etc. So those are the ones that I'm really excited about. Those increased effect are insanely, insanely powerful. So make sure that you are putting those in appropriate places. And again, you can optimize a row and a column and then put one in a place where it's affected by both at the same time and get really, really juicy numbers, right? So that's what we've learned there. And that's, again, it's there's still a lot to be learned, and I just kind of wanted to jump in and kind of show people how this was working. I have a big craft going at the moment, so you can kind of see that, oh wow, you can literally have 60 corpses to make one craft and really lock in, what you're trying to get. So um again, I just wanted to be real quick and not get too crazy into it. I wanted to get you guys started, and I don't want to be too detailed because I still haven't learned as much as there is to learn. But I wanted to show you kind of where we are, and if you want to tune into the stream while we fill out the rest of it, then you can do that. Now, lastly, if you have no desire in doing this, right, and you're like, this is crazy, like I don't understand any of this, what you can do is you can come in here and go to purchase items, and you can buy yourself an empty coffin for 1 chaos a piece, right? And then place your corpses in the coffin and then sell them, right? Like these right here. Increased effect of courses in the grave column. So I have a couple sitting here that I actually purchased. I went and got these because I was testing some things out. But that's what you can do. So then you can list it on the market, see what it's worth, all that kind of stuff, and just sell them. And then you don't have to deal with it. And you can just buy the items that you need, and it'll be fantastic. Now, let me just show you one last thing. If you are trying to purchase them, you just got to come over here to the trade website and search for the thing you're looking for. So let's say, we want resistance modifiers are scarcer, right? So we go, oh, okay, drag that down. We're just literally going to type that in. We'll just do R scarcer. Maybe we won't. Okay, so scarcer. There you go. So now it brings up all the mods that have scarcer in them, and we wanted, increased resistance modifiers or scarcer. So then we can just come in here and search for them, and as you can see now, you can just come right in and buy them. They have item levels, so you want to make sure that if you're trying to craft a high base item, you search for the base level I-83, and as you can see, these get pretty expensive pretty quickly. But now you can come in and just directly message somebody and buy the coffin, buy the corpse that you're interested in, and start filling things out. So again, if this all feels like a little too much, and again, the video is I'm trying to keep it quick, and we can get a little more detailed, but I just kind of wanted to show my findings, and I will make another video in a few days after we've spent some more time in here and crafted some cool items. I have crafted a few items that the actual mods on them were pretty good. The rolls on them were poor. So we're starting to get the hang of it, and now we're trying to focus more on highly, high tier mods, and we'll go from there. So that's all. If you guys have any questions, come pop into the stream. We're going to be filling this out over the next couple hours as we finish up our plot, and then we'll craft this thing and hope for the best. Maybe we'll get lucky and we did a good job. Maybe we'll have to make some adjustments. We'll see, how it all turns out. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll see you in the stream here shortly, and definitely go check out Grimro. Like, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. Dude's a legend. He's always got a spreadsheet for you every league, no matter what the mechanic is. Dude's fantastic, super knowledgeable. So go check him out if you haven't, and get the deets on the Morgue. So I'll go ahead and leave it at that, and I guess I'll bring up Spotify, and hopefully we'll see you guys in the stream, and appreciate all you. Peace.